Hey guys, Billy Davidson here with Davidson Pressure Wash Painting here in Hammond, Louisiana. It is about 1 a.m. today, and today is December 11th, 2019. I have been busy all day, and I just got in actually not too long ago. So taking care of some business around the house here, and I wanted to address a few people that has typed in the comment box below on a couple of my other videos. Of course, this is something that I'm doing new called Pressure Washer Talk. And this would be episode 3. And we're going to try this to see how it works out. This has really been helping out quite a few people. I think the last video had a few hundred people view it. And that was a few hundred people that probably gained some information that otherwise they wouldn't have had. It may not be a lot of information, but every little bit counts when you're trying to learn. Or some of the guys that's been in the business for a very long time. Like myself, I am constantly learning from others in the industry. A lot of stuff I do know. Of course, I usually have my head down and my nose to the grind wheel just about 7 days a week. So it's not like I'm out in the industry going to the shows and the trade shows and stuff like that and learning every new product that comes out, every new soap that hits the market, or every new little device. So sometimes I will pick up on some type of new thing that came out, and I'll usually pass it along to some of the people that follow my channel as well. So again, this is something new I'm trying to see if it helps out. We're gonna call it Pressure Wash Talk, and we can also call it Soft Wash Talk, or any other business related talk, something like that. So it's gonna kind of be geared to just the whole power washing industry, soft washing industry, and at times I'm going to mix in some parking lot striping too, because for us, the parking lot striping has really enhanced our bottom line for many now. And without the parking lot striping, there would have been some times where early on I would have hit some dry spells and maybe had fallen on some hard times. But so the parking lot striping did help us through some of the rough times. Nowadays, now that I'm extremely well established in my area, I could delete parking lot striping tomorrow and wouldn't miss it, financially. Obviously, I do enjoy doing it, and it does keep a couple guys, around that otherwise wouldn't be if we wasn't doing the parking lot striping. And it's very satisfying. If you've never been on a parking lot striping job, man, I say try it as soon as possible. It is therapy in every sense of the word. I mean, it's very satisfying, gratifying that you can go out and make a parking lot look new again. And then at the end of the job, they pay you some big sum of money. So it's always good to have that money at the end of the job. So today I have 3 good topics we want to talk about. I don't know how long this video is going to go, but it's going to probably go a little bit longer. These 3 topics are very important. And if you are new in the industry, or if you've been around for quite a few years, this might be something you want to hear and listen to just from my perspective here, doing the power washing here all around Hammond, Louisiana for the last 24, 25 years and that sort of thing. So I've learned a lot. I've seen a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. You kind of learn from those mistakes from time to time, especially the ones that cost you. So one question I have gotten since I've made my last episode of Pressure Wash Talk was the following. And a lot of times to the guys that's been out in the industry for a while, you may hear this question and think it's a no-brainer. But to some of the new guys, it may make a lot of sense to you. And you may not fully understand the terms that we use when we talk about soft wash or power washing or pressure washing, whatever word you want to interchange with that. So the question that I had is similar to this topic. And I'll try to explain it best I can. I had a gentleman ask me, he had a certain amount of money that he wanted to spend getting into the exterior cleaning business. And that's what we'll call this, the exterior cleaning business, just as an umbrella term to sort of kind of describe the exterior cleaning business, which could be roof cleaning. It could be window cleaning, you know, on the exterior. It could be pressure washing. It can be soft washing, power washing, gum removal, concrete cleaning, kind of a little bit of everything. Stain removals like rust, oil stains. So he had about $3,000. He was going to do it on a credit card. I don't recommend going into debt for almost anything, but there are some times and circumstances where debt is necessary. Or even not necessary, but it can be justified. And maybe that's a better word. So he did not feel that he could save up $3 grand. He said every time something came up, you know, something took the money out the savings account. And he had been trying to get into the exterior cleaning business for a couple years. So, and couldn't make it happen for one reason or the other. You know, we've all been there. You know, you put back $500, and then the next thing you know, we got a $600 car repair bill. So it's always been that for everybody. Murphy's Law, you know. So this gentleman, a very well-rounded, educated gentleman. He was in the, I believe it was, I want to say it was up around the Washington State area. So they have a lot of heavy mildew out that way. Yeah, okay, it's a Washington number here. They got a lot of heavy mildew just because of their climate and, you know, that sort of thing. A lot of humidity, and it rains about 300 days out of the year. So his question was, he had $3 grand. What should he do? Should he buy a power wash machine or a soft wash pump? And my answer to him was simple: yes. And yes to what? Yes to both. And this is why. I believe for $3 grand he could have done both if he was really smart with it. This is what I told him. My instructions were to him. I had a phone conversation with him, a lengthy phone conversation. If I had $3,000 right now on a credit card and I wanted to start a business, of course I know power washing business like the back of my hand, so that would be the business I start. I would definitely go out and buy a pressure washer. And the reason being is I don't think that soft washing is a 100% cure-all rate for every exterior cleaning. You know, so, you know, you go buy a soft wash pump, whether it be electric, or, 12 volt, or, you know, which is electric, or a booster pump, which is, you know, plug-in type, 120 volts, or even an air diaphragm. You're not going to be able to do every job that comes up. In fact, other than a roof wash or perhaps maybe a vinyl siding house, you're going to need a little pressure. So what I told him, this is what I recommend: a 4-gallon per minute machine. Obviously, I would say that that's a minimum, but you know, in reality, it probably didn't need to be a minimum. You could probably get by with a 3. You know, so maybe, I think there was some out there that was like 3.2 gallons or whatever. I just call them 3 gallons, 3,000 PSI. If that was all I had, I could still make it happen. It might take me a little longer, but I could still come back and put food on the table if I had to. But what I told them, a 4-gallon per minute machine, 4,000 PSI, that's a moot point. You know, anything over 2,000 PSI is gonna get anything you need cleaned anyway. So, but that's how they come. That's how they build. 4x4 is kind of what I call them. 4,000 PSI, 4 gallons a minute. Price on that, I checked around here and got this printed out. I found one at Lowe's with a Honda engine, GX390, cat pump. Wow, let me make sure this is right. Yeah, cat pump for tax, title, and license, everything out the door. I think they got it listed at just over 1,300, like 1,305, 1,306. If I figured the tax correctly. I know we just recently had an increase, I believe. And depending on where you at too, you know, I mean, it could be a little bit higher, a little bit lower, depending on if you got state sales tax or whatever. Or if you can find one online. So anyway, this is a Honda GX390 pull rope. It's on a cart. My old nickname for that's a rattle carts, you know, because after a couple months they rattle their, you know what, off. But man, they get the job done. This Honda engine and this little cat pump together, it's a great marriage for someone getting into power washing. Usually those Hondas, they crank up within 2 or 3 pulls on the rope. And there again, it's not an electric start, but so you get that box and you got it home. You know, this is a big box. You got it in the back of the truck. You get it home, you yank it out. You're so excited, you rip it open, and there's your pressure washer. You know, so you bolt it together, put the oil where it needs to go. You know, blah blah blah. They got pump oil, engine oil, and usually sometimes that's already installed. Sometimes it's not. So you just got to read the instructions. So anyway, you get this bad boy put together, and you drop some gas in a fuel tank, and you ready to pull the rope. You hook up the water, and you know, runs off a regular garden hose off of someone's house, and you rip this thing to life, and now you have a pressure washer blasting 4,000 pounds per square inch, which is a crazy amount of pressure when it comes to exterior cleaning. But you do got the 4 gallons a minute. Now, we wouldn't utilize that 4,000 PSI, never. I would say ever, never. I might use half of it, you know, now and then. But that 4 gallons a minute, that can make me tens of thousands of dollars really, really quickly. Even though it's not ideal, it's not a 5.5, it's not a 6, it's definitely not an 8. You know, and the ones I run with my downstream and nozzles on them, I'll push 10 gallons a minute at times, you know. So this is 4 gallons a minute, and you put it on a couple hundred feet of hose, you're probably gonna get a less than that. But coupled with an X-Jet nozzle, which we kind of all familiar with that, and you know, I talked about this plenty times, I would have that X-Jet nozzle there because it's worth its weight in gold. And I mean, it really is. So I would have that pressure washer. So pressure hoses, I got a couple of extra pressure hoses because it only comes with 50 feet. It's what the online says. It's been years since I've ran one of these little deals. So you need some garden hose. You need a surface cleaner. Yep, we almost forgot about that. That's gonna be 300 or 400, maybe 500 if you got really crazy with it. So now you kind of up 18, maybe 2 grand with the pressure hose, but you're only halfway there. So you only got another 1,000 to build out a soft wash pump. And believe it or not, you can do it. I mean, you can get in the soft wash game for well under that grand. And I'll explain here. If you got, we notice we got $2,000 spent on a pressure washer, a decent pressure washer. Now you can actually find them a little cheaper than that. You know, maybe Northern Tool or Tractor Supply or maybe even Harbor Freight carries something like that. But I would definitely get the extended warranty. I've seen them for under $1,000. The 4x4s, 4 gallon per minute, 4,000 PSI, just a little rattle card. I don't know how good they are, but I do know that Honda and that cat pump is it's gonna purr like a kitten, and it's gonna run anytime you pull a rope. She's gonna be ready to roll for you. And that was what I would depend. So $1,300 plus surface cleaner, plus the hose and an X-Jet. You're probably looking 2 grand. So anyway, we got $1,000 left over. What would I do with that $1,000 today to get into the soft wash game? First, I would go get me a 12-volt pump. Is what I would probably do. I would probably get a couple of them, maybe two 12-volt pumps. You're looking at $250 to $300 with your little wiring and alligator clips. I'll get me a good battery and a battery charger. Let's say that's another couple $100, so you're up to $500. Now you need a tank. That's $100. You need a pallet to put it on. That's usually free. So now we're up to $6. And now you need some hose fittings, siphon hose, and you need some feed. That would be your feed line. So you got $400 left over really for your feed line, which is your siphon hose, and some other little fittings, and you can use that Flexzilla hose or some water hose for some ag hose. So at the end of the day, you are in the soft washing business and you're in the exterior cleaning business all together with the 4x4 machine and a soft wash pump with 2 12-volt pumps attached to that pallet. I mean, you can just literally ratchet strap them down. It don't have to be pretty. We can deal with pretty later. Once you start making $10, $15, $20,000 a month, then if you want to look pretty, go for it. But you want to at least go to the dance, you know, and this would get you at the dance and get you in the game. And so for under 3 grand. Could I do it cheaper in a pinch? Yes, I could. I could probably find a used pressure washer for $400 or $500. Who knows what you get, and you might crank it up and the piston fly out the first time you crank it. I don't think you can get by any cheaper on the soft wash system. Now that being said, $3 grand or under, that's if you have a pickup truck. Now that's not including magnet signs. You know, you can go on Vistaprint. You hear people talk about how bad they are. Look, I promise you, magnet signs on the side of your truck is one of the best ways to advertise. Remember, you park and getting gas. If you're running IHOP, if you're at Home Depot, look, I'm not ashamed to say it, man. When I first started out, the work wasn't steady. You know, I didn't know what I know now. And I would literally go park at Lowe's and sit in my truck, and I'd have a handful of business cards. And I'd have homeowners walk up to me. They'd see my little sign, you know, Davidson Pressure Washing. And then they'd walk up to me. I was a kid, man, with a crew cut. Hey, son, you know, these older guys. Hey, son, you pressure wash houses? Yes, sir, yes, sir. And I'd jot down their addresses before GPS and get their home phone number, you know, that sort of thing. And I said, look, man, I'll come out this afternoon and take a look at it. And I'd have to stop by the payphone, find a payphone to give them a call, that sort of thing, and make sure they're home. Or you might ride out there and they not be home, but you still can look at it and write on the back of the card how much the quote was. I can't tell you how many jobs I got like that. Hundreds, maybe thousands, who knows. So some yard signs would go good too. I would at least have 10 yard signs made up, and I would try to find a deal, especially on a really, really tight budget. Try to find a deal. And those 10 yard signs, I really wouldn't put them out, you know, if you're trying to keep them, because, man, they get stolen. You know, maybe put them up real high or something. Or on every job, you know, put them in the yard that you're working on. And that's going to get people walking up. I mean, it really does work. Especially if you're cleaning concrete. That before and after is the way you want to kind of market that end of it. So getting back to my point, $3 grand, you can definitely be in the exterior cleaning business game. You'd have a soft wash pump, and you would also have a way to power wash concrete with your surface cleaner. So that's all we're really looking for. If we can do those two things, if we can get up there and spray a roof, and we can get up there and go out there and pressure wash a sidewalk or a concrete slab, you're good to go. Everything else is well within your ability at that point. You can do brick, vinyl siding, stucco. I mean, you knock down wasp nests, dirt divers nests, you know, and then with the right chemicals, which, you know, we can work with you one-on-one with the right chemicals and get you up to speed on that. You might not gonna learn everything off of a few phone conversations, but you'll learn enough, you know, to get by. And then over time, you just get quicker and quicker with your work. And you're doing one house a day. You're probably gonna start out one house a day. I mean, it's gonna take a little 6-hour job right now. Later on, it'll take you about 45 minutes. And you might say, wow, how is that possible? I promise you, once you do something over and over and over and over again, you just become an expert at it. Even if you are a big dummy, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna become an expert at it. If you do it several hundred times a year, a 6-hour job now would take me and my crew literally 45 minutes to do. And this is 6 hours years ago. I would go out there and work 6 or 7 hours on a job, up and down the ladder and lawn washing driveways. This is before surface cleaners really come out. I had a couple surface cleaners early on and they burned up within the first day, that sort of thing. So I would wand wash, man. I would wand wash. Man, it wouldn't be nothing for me to wand wash 4,000 or 5,000 square feet in a heartbeat. You know, just I wouldn't even think twice about it. So those 6-hour jobs now turn into 45 minutes, which is so, and you get paid double the amount, you know, because you know how to market your business and sell your services. So that being said, to answer that gentleman's question out in Washington, $3 grand, that's what I would do. The 4 gallon per minute machine, the soft wash pump. Also, the same gentleman asked me the question, do you need bleach to clean? So, yeah, yes, you do need bleach to clean. Not all the time. Sometimes we use degreasers. Sometimes we use different surfactants. Sometimes we use encapsulators. That's a different type of cleaner. But 99% of the time, we use sodium hypochlorite. And there are sometimes we will use acid to clean things. And we're not going to get into all of that right now because that's a whole nother episode of Pressure Wash Talk, the acid cleaners versus degreasers, when to use one and when not to use the other. Sometimes less is more. And when you're using acids, you better be spot on that day, because you can hurt yourself, you can hurt others, and you can hurt people's pets, plants, and property. So if you are not patient about learning your chemicals, leave the acid alone for a while, at least until you can get up to speed. The degreasers are a little more forgiving, but there again, you can remove paint with degreasers and etched glass, you know, if you get into the real heavy industrial degreasers. So yeah, sodium hypochlorite is our #1 cleaner. And he wants to know, is there an alternative to sodium hypochlorite? And yes, there is. But do we use them in the power washing industry? Very seldom. One of them is calcium hypochlorite. That has kind of caught traction over the last few years. There again, I don't feel that the calcium hypochlorite is in the same ballpark as the sodium. So it will clean mildew. It's much, much slower, in my opinion. The times I hadn't had a lot of experience with it, but a few times I tried it, it took about 5 times longer to clear up, break down some mildew. But also, you know, I mean, there's people want to know, can you use vinegar, baking soda? And yes, all of that will kill mildew over a longer period of time and much more labor intensive. So until sodium hypochlorite is outlawed, that's what I'll be using, and I hope you will be too, because it definitely saves us everyone a lot of time. So that was, you know, and to answer your question, there are other cleaners that we use often, but sodium hypochlorite is our biocide, and that's what we use on mold, mildew, and algae, that sort of thing, and on roof cleaning. Now, I had another question here. It was kind of an oddball question. Let me see if I can find it here. And there again, if y'all have any questions and you want them addressed personally by me, just drop in the comment box below or text me. I'll get to them sooner or later. Let's see where his question is. This is more about this was a question. I do get this question a lot, and the answer is different depending on the area you are in and you know, the customer base you're going after. You know, here in my area, I have a particular customer that I go after. You know, our customer avatar may be different here than it would be, let's say, in Washington State, or if you're out in Kentucky. It's around the Cincinnati, Ohio area, you get into a different customer out that way. And even down in Florida, I've done some work down in Florida, and I know a lot of guys down in Florida. They kind of have to go about it a little bit different than what we do, but the end result is, you know, you want to do as many as you can, as quick as you can. So now this gentleman asked me, if I basically had a certain amount of marketing dollars, where would I use them at? And this is, like I said, this could be controversial because it's different in different areas. But in my area, I find that direct email marketing has been very, very successful for us. And what I mean by that is it's a lot of legwork involved with it. And I usually hire someone for that. And they don't have to keep them around all year, that sort of thing. But it's basically a freelance person that goes. I'm not going to tell every detail of their business because I personally don't know it myself. I just kind of know about what they're doing. But basically, they're doing a lot of research. They're getting emails to very important people, and it doesn't necessarily have to be GMs and district managers, because a lot of those people can't make decisions. They're not the check writers, if you know what I mean. So they email these very important people directly, and we follow up. It's more like a drip campaign. We follow up with several other emails for about 6 months. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we move on. And a lot of times those emails get old and they get stagnant and they're no longer good. So you got to kind of have a fresh batch of emails coming in. I know there are some paid services out there, some business-to-business leads that has been successful. Now, this is if you're working on, if you're going after commercial jobs, those business leads. And numbers is the game. You might have to email 3, 4, 5 people. You want to have a copy and paste type message that you want to just send it out. That way you can get a lot of them out at the same time. And there are some automated programs for that would be much faster than a human being doing it, where they can just load in 2,500 emails and fire off 2,500 emails at a time. Now, what you want to do if you're doing that many emails going at the commercial work, you definitely want to is basically shotgun blast at this point, where you just shotgun blasting an entire area over and over and over again. And you might think, they get tired of you and they might block you, and that does happen. They do block you. Now, the only risk that you run with this, when they do get time to buy, if you have aggravated the you-know-what out of them, they may not even give you a call. But in my opinion, it's a risk worth taking. Now, you have to be gentle with these emails. You don't want to be in your face and over the top with it. You want to be polite and, basically a passive type of email personality to them, where you're not pushing it to them, you're just showing them, and then let them pull it in. And then, if they are receptive to it, then they'll make that phone call. If not, you won't get it. And then perhaps you can do a little testing. You can see if this works, if that works. Back and forth language, certain keywords, that sort of thing. And you don't want to be too salesy in it, like call now, call today, or else what? They'll call somebody else. You don't push no one around in business, because they will call you a competitor. You know how that is. So I don't believe in that, beating and badgering someone and hoarding them into making a purchase now, because later they're going to pay more, because our customers are sophisticated and they know better than that. If you're going to knock off 25%, then now you will later too, and they know that. So a lot of times you want to be just passive with it and say, hey, this is sometimes very truthful. I've approached these people with complete honesty. I was like, hey, we are slow right now. My crew could definitely use the work, and we'll give you the best price we can. And just be straight up honest. And a lot of times they're very receptive to that. So if you're doing commercial work, those emails have been super successful for us. Now, if you're going for homeowners, it's the obvious. And, a lot of guys want to overcomplicate this. And I got a whole list of stuff that you can go do to get residential customers. But you can use Home Advisor. You can use Google AdWords. You can use door-to-door, every direct mail, door-to-door, whatever it's called. I've never done that. You can beat on doors till you're blue in the face, and I have found that just doesn't work. What really works for us in the past is signs, and it is putting signs in the front of a neighborhood or across the street. They're gonna get taken down. They're gonna get stolen. They're gonna get thrown away. You'll probably get some phone calls to tell you quit doing it, and of course you have to stop. But as long as you can find a little intersection, maybe out that's kind of off the beaten path, but it's a very busy intersection, you can put your sign up there and keep a fresh sign out there about every 2 weeks. And with residential customers, they have to see it over and over and over again. As you know, and I know, I'm a very busy person. I'm raising a daughter, so I might see a sign that has upholstery cleaning, and I know I got to get these chairs cleaned. The very expensive chairs I have here in my home, and they've got a couple stains on it, and I've been meaning to get some upholstery work cleaned on it. And I may see a sign 3 or 4 or 5 times. I believe it or not, I'll take pictures of it with my cell phone and end up forgetting about it. So you got to keep putting that sign out there, keep putting it in their face. And there again, you don't want your sign too complicated. If you do house washing, that's all you really need on it. You don't need your name. They don't care. They're not going to remember. Your name is not important to them. So I would put house wash and then your phone number. And if you can help it, not put the area code in front, because that makes the other 7 digits even larger. But if you are in the area that has several area codes, then of course you want to do that. Putting websites on it, all this www.whatever.whocares.com, it's not going to be all that helpful. And most of the time, the people are not going to remember that part of it anyway. And you just ask yourself, would you? If you rolled up on a sign that said upholstery cleaning and a phone number, what are you gonna remember? The website or the logo or the colors or the color scheme or all this other information, home number, cell number, office number, fax number? None of that matters. Just put the number on there where they can call you and you answer, and that's what matters. And I don't mean to be direct about it, but a lot of these guys are just making it too hard and too complicated. You don't need an answering service until you start getting 50, 60 jobs a week, or about every 2 weeks. You can answer your darn phone, and that's where get a lot of our work from. And that brings up another point. I have gotten many customers where they said, we've called everybody in town, you're the only one to answer. I was like, really? You know, how's that even possible? Are they out? What they doing? You know, answer your phone. If you get a phone call, you don't recognize it, guess what? That's probably a job calling. The ones that you got programmed in your phone, your aunts, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, those those can wait. So every unknown number I get, I'm on it. You know, just if I miss the call, I'm within a few minutes of calling that person back. Because if you don't, and it's a customer, they are doing exactly what you're doing. You go on Google, you type in something, or if you see a sign somewhere and you call the number off of it and they don't answer, you're probably looking for the next guy that does the same thing. And that's the same thing that they doing as well. Homeowners are busy, I'm busy, you busy, you know how it is. They're no different than us. A lot of times they want it done, they don't know who to call, and a lot of times they don't trust the people they call into. So when you do answer the phone, be polite, introduce yourself, and you know, just have some good manners. I was with a gentleman. I'm not gonna name his name. It was a couple years ago. He was talking on the phone with a customer. I could tell she was a older lady, and about every third word was the F-bomb. And you know, who say that's not gonna get them work, or it does not get them work. It just seemed a little over the top to me. So I've always been cognitive of foul language around the customer. Of course, we all get carried away sometimes and say things, you know, that other people may be offended. But just act professional. If you know, if you take that away from this conversation, just be professional. You know, just don't, you don't have to get into politics and who won this and all of that and who's the best baseball player of the season. Just try to remain professional and use just appropriate language. Be polite. You don't have to, you know, be way over the top either way. And, you know, don't be so quick to get off the phone with them. A lot of times these people are nervous to call you already. And then here you are sharp-winded with them and kind of saying some foul language. And all you're going to do is raise their anxiety even more. So what we want to do when we talk to a customer, we want to put them at ease and trust us, trust our work, trust our crew, that sort of thing. And then trust me personally that I'm going to be coming out to their house, if it's their home, walking around their most valuable investment they probably have ever made in their life and spraying it with chemicals and machines, water, and all of this stuff. And they have concerns. They probably had bad experiences or have heard of bad experiences. So you need to, if you're going to prep a customer, you need to go out there. Once you finally get out there in front of the customer, be presentable to the person. You know, I've been out there in my work clothes before, and you know, that doesn't matter, you know, to them, but you want to take your time and present your services to them and explain it to them thoroughly. And some of your elderly people out there, they don't quite understand. Sometimes they're hard of hearing, so you want to talk slow and thorough with them and be patient. And if you got to repeat something twice, go for it. Because at the end result, once you do that customer's house and she or he is very happy with your services, people love to talk. So they love to brag. So they're going to be out there saying, so-and-so Power Washing came out and washed our home, and he couldn't have asked for a better contractor, and I would recommend you using them. And that's how we get a lot of our work. And those referral jobs is basically free money. I mean, you don't have to hunt those jobs down. You don't have to advertise for them. You don't have to do anything for them. They call you, and then they become repeat customers. So at that repeat customer, I tell all the new guys out there, write down every customer, write down their address, write down how much they paid you, and if you can, take a picture of their check, because that has been so valuable to me, where we wash hundreds and hundreds of houses each year. And let's say Miss Sue calls or whoever, and she's ready to get her roof done again or her driveway. And there's so many times I'll go back and pull up the check. In my mind, I'll be thinking I only charge her $300 for her driveway. And then I'll go back and look at the check and have it be $400. So I'll put that check in the front of my phone, and that way when I knock on Miss Sue's door, I'm just using that as an example, to get paid, and she says how much I owe you, I can show her my phone and say, look, last year it was $400. We're trying to keep our prices the same, you know, for all our old customers. But if this works for you, it works for us, and then you move on. A lot of times they'll give you a little $25 little bonus or whatever, and you move on. Now, if you didn't have that snapshot of that check got so much information on it. It's got their name and their address, and a lot of times their phone number on it. So that is a record of everything. And then you can manually enter that somewhere else, whether you're doing a notebook or a customer factor program or something like that. I always like to have the pictures of those checks because it's proof how much you paid me. It's also proof for your end of the year taxes and things like that. So that's always a good idea. And it will make you more money in the end, because if you need to go up a little bit, you can, or if you're keeping the price the same, at least you're not getting less than what you did the previous year. So anyway, I hope that helped. I'm about to get off here. It is getting late. I guess it's probably, I'm kind of a night owl. We do nighttime work, daytime work, sometimes 2 shifts a day. So it's going to like 2:15 a.m. So I'm about to get out of here, and I'll probably be doing this again in a week or so. We're going to be really crazy tied up over the weekend coming up. If weather holds out here in Louisiana, we got a big parking lot striping job to go tackle, and if everything works out for that. So I'll probably be uploading probably in the next few days. So if you like these videos, if they helpful, let me know, because I like making them. I'll continue to make them. If it's getting to some of the guys out there and helping out in any way, like them, subscribe, the notification bell, that sort of thing, and leave a comment in the box below. If you got any questions, I'll be happy to answer them any way I can. If you need to contact me personally, my phone number is 985-345-0778. I'm Billy Davidson, the owner of Davidson Pressure Washer Painting. And again, thanks for watching, and we will talk soon. Have a great night.